with Starfield out of the picture, Redfall out of the picture,
Right.
and a lot of questionable games here, I think PS5, you can pretty much definitively already say they won the year.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because they already had Gran Turismo 7, Ghostwire Tokyo, Horizon Forbidden
Horizon,
West.
and then God of War, maybe.
God of War, maybe. I'm thinking that's getting pushed, but I
Yeah.
don't know. And of course, that's going to be good. But I don't see it hitting this year. But even if that doesn't hit this year, the Gran Turismo 7, the Ghostwire, and the Horizon, those three alone.
Right.
And then plus we have Forspoken still to release, which
That's
that
true.
already got pushed. So are they going to push it again? I don't know. I don't
I
think
think
so.
that one will make
Yes.
its thing.
And Valkyrie Elysium, that I don't know, may or may not. The thing is, every game nowadays that pretty much gets announced, it changes, right?
Never
It
trust
is
it.
now the rare exception that a game actually releases on release day. I mean, when is the last big game you could think that has even done this? It's been a long time.
Closest I've seen in a while was Elden Ring got pushed by a few weeks. That was the only thing.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Let's give some props to Nintendo, who've done the most unprecedented thing I've ever seen is push up a release date. What the? Since when does that ever happen? What?
So that's a good point. Nintendo is probably the best at this now. When they
Yeah.
put a date, I mean, they pretty much hit it. I mean, they with Breath of the Wild, they said 2022, and then that got pushed. But
Yeah.
so many times, companies everywhere, Xbox, PlayStation, Capcom, whatever, they'll say a date, and it'll always be pushed months later. And we can never really trust the release date, but Nintendo's pretty good about that. I
Yeah,
want
I
to
agree.
say they have 85% track record of it just hitting on that date and not being a thing.
When they say an actual date, they're pretty good about
Yeah.
hitting it from what I can tell. At
It
least.
changes, but it just seems like Zelda seems to be the one that always gets the push, right?
Yeah,
Any
Zelda
other
always gets the
series of
push,
theirs, it's pretty fine.
Yep.
In terms of this year, though, that's a good segue. Nintendo's going to be the winner of 2022 in my eyes, pretty substantially, because again, PlayStation, you have the three, which are big games: Gran Turismo 7, Ghostwire, and Horizon, and then Forspoken may also come. I'm iffy on the Valkyrie, and I'm iffy on the God of War, right?
Yep.
But Xbox, I mean, of stuff that already came out this year, there's good games, but there's nothing of big profile, right? Like the little fox dude, the Zelda game, like Tunic.
Tunic.
It's so good. That's not pushing people to go buy the system, Gran Turismo 7 is. Xbox hasn't really got any big thing. That was the big thing for them, was that. So Stalker 2 and Hellblade 2 and Starfield, those are the big ones there. So that being said, Switch, I mean, there's a lot of really good Switch games here coming really soon. So scroll down a bit. Nintendo had a quarterly sort of call to the investors and all of that.
Right.
And these are all the games they said that are coming later this year. So this was right before Switch Sports release. So they released that. Mario Strikers Battle League comes out the 10th, which
saw that.
You need to watch that video that I highlighted in these notes if you haven't.
Looks cool.
Looks phenomenal. Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, that ain't that huge or whatever. It's just
it's like a Musou game,
Yeah, but the rest of these are big. Live Alive is huge.
Can't wait for that one.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is huge.
That's
Splatoon 3 is huge. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, they're actually taking the ideas from Arceus and making a true gen with that.
I'll probably get that one.
Bayonetta 3 still targeting this year, which I feel confident on that because look at this. They've changed a few things. So Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp is now on TBA. Metro Prime 4 is still a TBA. And Breath of the Wild's 2023. So the fact that Bayonetta 3 is still saying 2022.
Right. Makes me more sure.
Yeah, it makes me think like, hey, it might actually hit this year. But those are some big releases there. Like, Nintendo may, and they've already had huge releases this year.
Yeah, I gotta say, a lot of these games I'm very excited for, but man, Live Alive, I'm like through the roof over that game. The more I see about it, I'm just like, I can't wait.
I think those are bigger than what anyone's got coming, unless God of War releases this year.
Right.
That will be the only thing that could give PlayStation the edge.
Sure.
If we're talking, hey, of the three, who's having the bigger year? But I think Nintendo's coming out on top.
Oh, yeah.
Now, obviously there's a ton of people. Now, it's not even the majority because the majority Nintendo sells the most.
Right.
But let's just say, I don't know, the typical gaming audience you see on forums and Twitter or something. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? In
Sure,
these
sure.
gamer groups, it seems to be Nintendo doesn't get that much attention.